Happy Monday. I've been talking so much even before we went live that I feel like I'm running out of, I'm getting all the things out. So thanks for spending your cold morning with us. I love that my sister is in Illinois and she said, we have, minus 30 wind chill. They're going to have to, they canceled school. And then I'm like, wow. It has to be like minus 50
here. It was. I mean, it's right now it is -10 outside on the regular dial. That does not.
That's not cold enough though to
And as I've learned what they say in Iowa, well, if it wasn't for the wind chill, it wouldn't be that bad. It would be that bad. It's awful. It is. Can you believe? And here's the other thing, the depressing thing. It is Monday, January 26th. We are still in the month of January. Still in the month of January is always the longest month.
This feels like the longest January ever.
It's the longest month.
I think part of it is, and it's not a bad thing, but we have just been so busy. And so you're always trying to catch up, right? Everything is busy. And then even with the shutdown Friday of everything slowing down, we still had to work. And then we also now will have the makeup of all the things you couldn't do on Friday. So my son's basketball game postponed to tonight. So I've got he has 4 games this week, which is a lot.
That's a lot
trying to work and live.
Well, that's a lot and those kids that play, and I respect, our school as well closed on Friday, had games, obviously canceled those games. So I was a little surprised with a lot of schools that kept the games on.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm like, because
the dogs are scratching. Sorry, guys. We're doing a show. We're live.
But I mean, I respect, because we were playing somebody who was, a little far distant. So I'm glad. I appreciate the schools that were like, we're not in school, so no, you don't have the practices, you don't have the games.
Right. That's usually the policies that a lot of the school districts have, because they're saying if you can't safely get to and from school due to the weather, you shouldn't have any obligation for activities. So but then now you don't have to make it up.
Now we don't have to make it up, which is really nice.
So that's not a bad thing.
And before we continue, because I'm a football aficionada, as we all know, and my Eagles took a very early exit from the playoffs. Congratulations to you and your family. You are a Seahawks fan. She's Bears by marriage, Seahawks fan. No, Bears by birth, Seahawks fan by marriage.
Thank you. Your family. Thank you. Very, very excited. So that's been a fun thing this season, because my son, who never gets excited about much, he was smiling last night ear to ear. And then he said, and I thought this was a good point, because he very much tracks, like young, sports enthusiasts do, all the stats, especially with their fantasy teams. He said, what's crazy is at the beginning of the NFL season this year, no one would have predicted the Patriots and the Seahawks would have been the Super Bowl contenders. And so that's cool that they were the underdogs.
However, and I will tell you, this is the first probably time all year that I've watched the Seahawks, because why would I know?
Right.
But I watched them last night and I was like, no one's beating them. Like
and one of their best players is out, Charbonnet. So that's what was crazy too.
That's what, and of course I will always cheer for anyone who plays the Patriots.
Oh, same. We have to avenge our Super Bowl loss to them when we lost on the last play of the game, when Marshawn should have been the one driving.
I was a Marshawn fan.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
But we also talked about, like, respect to any LA Rams fans out there. I'm sorry, St. Louis Rams. Let's be real. But, like, your head coach, stop wearing sweatshirts from Baby Gap. Like, why is he dressed from Baby Gap?
Okay, but
like, we get it. You live. You're swole.
There is an aesthetic that Sean McVay has that we see around Iowa.
Yes,
okay,
I know.
What I'm going to say. It's the vest.
Yeah.
The cropped 3/4 pants.
Yeah.
And the baseball cap on backward, even. That's
he's a bro.
And we see that. And so I think it's so funny, because when I see people, that he's really kind of become synonymous with that aesthetic. So when we're at basketball tournaments or baseball tournaments and I see the Sean McVay bro, I'm like, okay.
He's the guy coming to like a youth basketball game wearing like
sleeves rolled up,
the leggings.
Yes, totally. With the sleeves rolled up and the tight
the
tight Columbia vest
and the sunglasses on the back of his head.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I'm like, every time we pop on screen, I was like, why is your shirt so tight?
And
like,
he just there's something about him that, like, he's just too perfect. So you just picture him like every 2 weeks, he's like, he gets his hair cut because he never wants his hair to have any variation,
He counts his proteins. He does his macros every day.
He gets manicures.
He counts his macros as we're.
Oh my gosh,
We
that's
empower
so
women.
true.
We don't. We're
It's
not really.
awesome.
It's not about the.
Counts his
I don't like the
macros.
men. He does. There's something about him. I think it's also you have to understand. He said some really poor things about Philadelphia last year when we beat them, and he said that it was just because the elements. They're from LA, and that we were playing in snow. And I'm like,
Oh,
you're a
gosh.
man playing snow. Let me play in snow. So anyway,
Speaking of playing in snow, that Denver game
That was great.
That was insane
That was
with the blizzard. So
and it's
Sorry.
sad.
Yeah,
It's sad
I
because
know.
Denver was
we
good
wanted
all
Denver
year.
to win. So sad, sad for the Bird Nows, Jenny and Jeremy. And now that they lost, you can come to the Super Bowl party. They couldn't come if Denver was going to be in it.
I thought they were going to pull something because when we went on our run in Philly in 17, 18, our quarterback Carson Wentz went down. Nick Foles comes in, the whole thing. So that's why it was so unfortunate that Denver's quarterback Bo Nix went down.
Yeah,
that's just not
I know.
fair.
It's so sad. And so many players like Kittle, he was out, which hurt the 49ers, but we're happy we can't stand. That's the Seahawks' biggest rival.
Right.
So we were happy
We can say this team, but everybody knows at home there's only one team that I despise more than anything on this planet.
The Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, and I'm neutral on the Cowboys, but definitely not a Packers fan because I'm so pro Bears, So I'm excited just because now it's going to be hopefully the chance to avenge, I think it was the 2017 Super Bowl loss. So we haven't said our names for those new viewers.
Hi, I'm Amanda Goodman.
And I'm Tara Thomas. And this is the third full week of the group chat, our new morning show. And for those of you at home, thank you for your time and attention to this broadcast. And we have had some really nice sort of fans or friends, reaching out. If you miss the broadcast or you come into it while we already are executing this hour, you can watch all the episodes on our YouTube channel where they'll be permanently housed. And I put a link to it on our Facebook page.
I'm laughing because I put this sweater on deliberately because had I been at one particular television station during my 20-year career, I would have been written up because I'm wearing
horizontal stripes. I love it. It's a rebellion.
And I'm being rebellious. We were never allowed because this is what one of my bosses said to me. You're already big. Do you know how big you look wearing those stripes? So I found the sweater with the fattest stripes this morning, the baggiest sweater.
Yes.
So yeah, did you know that we would get in trouble?
Mm-hmm.
We would get disciplined, women, if we wore horizontal stripes because the viewers didn't want you knowing that we were big.
Yeah, we had a lot of interesting restrictions. And so when people say, and I see these TikToks where people say, if you're, older like we are, you shouldn't have long hair. But what they don't understand is,
do it again.
I'll wear mine proudly because we for years had to have that sanctioned bob. And so anything really beyond here was almost a stretch for many years.
Well, we were just, a young journalist. She's so talented. Her name's Amanda Gilbert. I worked with her at the station here in Iowa, and she messaged you not too long ago and several years ago. I mean, she was young in her early 20s, and then she had the bob.
Yeah.
And she said because somebody said that she needed to look older and more mature and more responsible journalist. So she got the bob, and it aged her like 20 years. I mean, she was.
I know. Sometimes we look back and we feel like we look younger now.
We look so much younger now
Speaking of looking younger.
And we're not saying like we look younger, but
well, I
know what you're going to say.
I am so excited to share. Thank you to Splendore Spa. I had, let me move into the camera. I had the first treatment of the PRX, the liquid facelift. It's not invasive. So, I mean, I'm telling you also, and you can appreciate this, after the few weeks I've had of just being extraordinarily busy, just to lie down and have her massage my face, and so I have to thank you for encouraging me to try this. So this PRX, it's only 4 treatments, and then it's spread out over every 2 weeks. And here's the crazy thing. It's non-invasive and there's no downtime. So you literally can put your makeup on and have no visible evidence that you've had this on.
You're glowing.
Thank you.
And you don't have to do the Kris Jenner.
Right. Well, nothing with needles, which I'm not averse to, but I mean, it's just really fast and really quick. So anyway, that's Splendore. And I did confirm with Liz, our friend, the owner, I said, now, how do you pronounce it? Because she does have an accent on the E, and she said it is Splendore, but a lot of people call it Splendor. So whatever,
And-
I just wanted to,
And the
to
thing about,
clarify that.
I've known Liz for many, many, many years. And there's one thing about her that I will let you know, that she is the consummate hype girl.
Oh,
So
yes,
she
that's
will
what you
also,
said.
she is a hype girl. And so she is very protective of her people. So when many times, I don't know if you all know this, but sometimes people don't like what I write on social media, or what I stand for. She immediately, now she can't always comment because she's a small business owner,
Right,
and
right.
it's very dangerous territory. She will send me like a gif of like a trident, like Ariel's dad, with a trident. She's like, where do I need to take my trident? Like, so it's you want to give. For me, I always want to give business, and I want to support the people who are just hype people. It's not about like I'm going to support people who support me. No, but it's when you know someone's character and who they are as like a soul.
So we're grateful she's a sponsor of our group chat morning show, as is Middle River Cabinetry out of Winterset, Iowa. So we wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors this morning. And again, this is a gift to us that there are businesses that want to support and sponsor our women empowerment journey. So thank you for
we have a great
believing
team.
in us.
We have a great team out of Des Moines. And the
Choice Creative.
Choice Creative, and the coolest thing about this, it's led by a man, and I say like it's led by a man.
Yeah.
But he was the
Who
one
found us on social media.
Found us on social media, and he said, "What you two are doing is really special." And to after working in a boys' club, where sometimes the tables got shorter, have a group of men say, "You know what? Come here. We're gonna build you your own table, and we're gonna make it as long as you need it." It was very, very empowering.
Yeah,
so
we're grateful.
We honor today the men who are building longer tables to include everyone, and not including us just because we are women. Like I don't need more than because I'm just a woman. I just don't want to be discredited or discounted because I am a woman.
Thank you for qualifying that. I need your help. I accidentally turned the overhead light on, and that's why I don't look.
I'm gonna go off camera.
Shut that light off so people really see. Thank you. Is
that better
Isn't
now?
That funny? I was like, what's wrong with me? I felt like I was back in TV where they had cheap lighting.
Well, this lighting in here in this home studio is better than any lighting we have ever had.
So now see how much smoother my skin looks.
It's glowing. You do look a lot younger.
You're so kind. I have to tell you, you have had this treatment, and she just has amazing skin now, which is so nice. I mean, your skin looks so flawless, and a lot of people were excited to hear about your Wet n Wild tip.
I'm telling you, and that's the news that you really can use, right? The Wet n Wild. I mean, I spent hundreds of dollars on compacts, like hundreds of dollars on a single compact, and I'm like, there's nothing. It looks like I'm wearing cake. It's less than $5.
No, they used to have it to know where you buy it.
Well, I buy it on.
And what kind of Wet n Wild is it?
It's called Studio Focus, Photo Focus, Wet n Wild. I use the golden beige, but I get it on Amazon now. Target used to carry it. Sometimes you can find it in there. Sometimes it's at the dollar store. I've heard. Like, my thing is this. Like, why do I have to say? And why would you ever be ashamed of saying I only spent $450 on my
right?
Like I have never been that one says, well, I spend like $200 on my compact. Well, I think that's dumb. I think that's dumb.
Especially because sometimes, like you said, there's not a huge difference in quality, and so that's what's crazy.
And what's interesting, when you take care of yourself, right, and on every level you can, and we're very fortunate to go to a place like Splendora, where they take care of our skin though. I want to wear less makeup. So all I have to do is wear this foundation because I'm trying to invest in, I'm trying to drink more water. I'm trying to do, all the things. But it's less than $5.
It's a great find. Wow. We will share all our tips and tricks if you are so inclined to, care. We appreciate, I mean, they did when people responded to your post. So good morning from Dubuque, Amy. Jeannie, our friend, good morning, ladies, and saying hi. And Sandy Wolf is joining us, our longtime friend from KWWL. She was the best receptionist ever at KWWL for decades, and we love and miss Sandy so much. Miranda said hello from North Carolina. We are so glad you're joining us, and you have the benefit of getting an hour later to sleep in because we start Eastern time. At
Right.
8
And I know a lot of
a.m.
delays in North Carolina because they got hit with some ice in certain parts of North Carolina. My old stomping grounds for 3 years.
Yes.
Down in East Cackalack.
Yeah.
So we used
And Miss Hirsch, Levi's mom, good morning. Anne is watching. Deb, a lot of people are watching. A lot of
Good
friends.
morning, everybody.
So,
Thanks for joining
and
us.
Nancy Hunt said good morning from Johnston. So welcome from that side of the state.
Oh, yeah. We love going down to Johnston. I love that area.
It's
I love
It's so
Johnston.
nice.
West Des Moines. I love
Yeah,
that area.
If you've never been to Iowa, you'll know that we think of Des Moines as it's a small, big city. And what we mean by that is it's a bigger city in terms of amenities, but it's not a lot of traffic and you can go downtown and park and do all the things. So that is the benefit of a big, small town.
I absolutely love it. I'm so sorry. I am making sure everybody in my household is awake. They are very angry. They were watching last night. It was very much
they were
reminiscent.
counting on.
They were watching the lower
a
third.
cancellation.
They were watching the lower third, which in news terms, the ticker. And I'm like, this is, and then I had to tell them the story, and they're like, here we go. And because I start like when I was a kid, they're like,
we had to wait until we heard it on the radio.
Yeah, it was like a lottery.
Yeah,
and you had to you wait it by it. And so I went to Catholic school, so it wasn't like we didn't follow the public school system because we had to be like, different and better. So we had to wait, like the public schools would be off, and then you're sitting there waiting. They saved the Catholic school for the very end, and then so they were very upset that all the other. It looks like a lot of Dubuque schools are operating on a 2-hour delay today, and I hate the 2-hour delay.
They had a lot of snow, and then the teachers hated it, I think, too, because then your whole day everything is rushed, and then it's like the kids aren't doing a lot of learning because all the periods are condensed.
Well, and I don't like the math. The 2-hour delay math. It's like a 2-hour delay. Okay, if they go to school at 7:50,
right.
Like every time. I do want to say something. It reminds me of a teacher. So I'm not going to say her name because I'm not going to embarrass her. But I ran into somebody I know, a teacher who we absolutely adore, at a store yesterday before some volleyball games we went to, and she's pregnant and she's due later in the spring. And she looks at me and she was like, I just hate pregnancy. And I started laughing. It's her first. And I said, never apologize for saying, because as soon as you say it, someone's like, do you know how blessed you are?
You should be so grateful.
You should be so grateful. La, 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 la. Like, listen, blanket statement for all of the women who are expecting or you're going to be expecting, or if you're going through pregnancy right now, listen, it is okay that you do not enjoy pregnancy. I had no glow. There was no glow about me. It was pure sweat. It was sweat. I was uncomfortable. Like I carried very big babies.
Me too.
I did not. The only thing I enjoyed about pregnancy, the second trimester, the way food would taste.
Eating was amazing.
Oh my God.
We had so much. Every bite, lick, and taste was amazing.
Oh my God. But I just wanted
we both gained a ton of weight.
I just wanted to clarify. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. If you are like, wake up but people are so afraid to say it out loud because they get attacked. Like,
yes,
I did not enjoy pregnancy.
Yeah. Like we're not allowed to have a different experience. Right. And that's the thing. And so we've talked about it. Our birth delivery stories run the gamut, and a lot of people had horrible stories. And so and then there's we all have experienced this, there's the person who, when you are pregnant, then they tell you about all the things that went wrong with them,
and I never dressed we didn't have really cute maternity clothes.
They did start getting like the Target cute maternity stuff, but you're right. Nothing. It was like pea in a pod.
We were dressing like intense.
Yeah, compared to what they have now.
Like I would, and you see these women that were very cute, look very cute pregnant. I did not, because I'm literally carrying 9-10 pound babies. I'm not that tall. Right. And then I was very wide because I ate everything under the sun. I never gained less than 75 pounds. Never less than 75 pounds. I gained, I think, 85 with Charlotte. Yeah. That's good though. But I just wanted to clarify that for any woman watching who is expecting, it is okay if you wake up and say, obviously this is a blessing, but this process sucks. You're not alone. I just wanted to say it. Yeah, that's great that you gave her that affirmation, because she probably feels like she can't be honest unless she's talking to people like you, where she knows she can be candid, right? Well, and Lucy looks at me and she's like, you didn't like being pregnant? I was like, girl, stop. You were 10'7" and 23 and a half inches long. Like, you are the reason that I have to sit down before I cough or sneeze. You know what I mean? Like there is, you're it.
I
You're
love it.
I
Okay,
mean,
so Amy Shannon said maternity clothes are really cute until you need to wear it. Then everything looks hideous. That is so
yes,
true.
it's
So true.
completely true.
And I was not, as you described, I was like you. I was not the, oh, you have that belly,
Little belly, the basketball.
and everything else is petite. Like my legs were swollen, my feet were swollen,
Yeah.
like everything was huge. So yeah, I get it. Okay, who else is joining us this
Well,
morning?
the news stations were very thankful that my
Oh.
face didn't get pregnant. They're like, at least your face does not get fat. That's what they would say. At least your
My
face
hand
didn't
was so big, I had to wear my wedding ring around on a chain on my
get-
neck.
I had it on
Like
my
Sarah,
pinky.
like Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, yeah.
But she did it in Sex and the City because she was like anti-marriage. Remember when she wore
Okay.
the engagement ring? Okay, so Pamela said she ordered the Wet and Wild and she loves these tips. So we're so glad that you are going to try it. Judy, hello. Hello to Patrice, and just thank you guys for joining us. I mean, we've had quite a few views beyond our live stream, which speaks to how much we know you guys were following and appreciating the podcast. So it's great that now this is our new version of the podcast. It's like the more modern way to engage with people.
And I became anti-podcast
Because everybody has a podcast.
And it's not like, and if that's what your thing, you do you, and I love it. You want to be creative. But I'm just like, okay. Once everybody's doing it, then I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is fun for us to actually be seen too, right? Because of course, a lot of podcasts now do have the video streams, but for us, this simulation of a YouTube, Facebook stream is like doing a morning show.
That's
it's
what we
so
missed.
crazy because we don't have mics and we're not doing headphones. You know, we don't have like a giant.
Right. Well, and I miss doing morning news. Being a morning news anchor was actually my favorite because I
Same.
loved, being able to showcase personalities. I love connecting with the viewer.
You're just more casual and conversational.
You're
when you do the
real.
mornings.
We're much more real. So that is,
So on another note, crazy thing that I sort of stumbled across, I saw the preview for it on Netflix, didn't watch it, and then it's been all over my Twitter or X feed. Have you heard about this guy? It is so crazy. Is it Alex Holland is his name? So, or Honnold, Honnold.
Okay.
He's 40 years old. And if you have any fear of heights, which I've developed a fear of edges, I'm told in my later life, it's not fear of heights, it's fear of edges. So if I get close to the edge,
makes sense.
isn't that weird?
No, it's not weird at all.
This guy who's 40, he live on Netflix. Okay. This is actually insane. Live on Netflix with no rope.
You tell
it was
me
a rope-free climb.
No. Mm-mm.
And he climbed a 101-story, 1,660 foot tall skyscraper in Taiwan, in Taipei, live on Netflix.
No.
But this is the craziest part. I mean, just the part I watched, my hands were sweating. But
I'm getting like my chest.
Okay, here's the funny part. All the way up, there were people in the windows taking pictures of him. And he was free climbing. He had if he slipped, he was dead.
Was he mic'd up?
I don't know because that's a good question because I saw the drone video and then I too asked and I did Google this. What happens when you get to the top and then do you just scale back down? Well, he did somehow scale down to a floor where then he went in a window and went down an elevator. My hands were sweating.
I'm sweating now.
Thinking about it. And the thing that's so crazy about that is how much we as a culture are desensitized to everything, right? Because nothing shocks you anymore. Well, this, they said, was one of the most incredible feats to ever be done on live TV. And here's the thing. They scanned his brain, and this will blow your mind. The markers that we have that create fear and anxiety.
He has none.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
That his levels are so low that they said he can look at video of like gruesome scenarios and like stuff that we all would react to as horrific. And they said he just says, whatever.
Would that make him like a sociopath though? Like, it's like,
that's such a good point. Good for him that he's channeling this into something constructive, even though it's crazy versus, yes, he could be somebody who has no feelings about
and then you would reacting. I feel like you would make really, really bad.
Yeah.
decision. So does he have no empathy?
Well, but this
If you
is
don't
the
have fear and
crazy thing
anxiety?
too, that they said that his rope-free climb was completed in 90 minutes and
No.
it was 101 stories. So he's an expert in his craft,
Like,
you know.
I mean, like, but
You've got to watch it.
I can't.
I don't know
can't.
if I can play the
No,
video.
I can't. It
you
would make
guys
me
don't
too-
watch that.
I
It's
can't.
so weird.
But
And
I mean, like, for what purpose? Like, so at your next
because
cocktail
no
party,
one else can do that,
but
right?
yeah, like your next
I
cocktail
mean-
party, so be like, hey there, Sally. You know, I can like,
Sally.
like, can raw dog a tall building. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, for me, if somebody came up to me and said I climbed so many stories, I would, in my head, I'm thinking you're an actual idiot. Like in my head, I'd be like, why would you do
Well,
that?
and the other part is everybody loves to watch other people like risk their lives, but you know, when we're all like, you know, would never. I mean, I wouldn't even. I can't even walk up a stadium to the high seats.
Oh, no,
you know,
'cause you
let
feel like you're
alone
gonna
try
fall, I
to
agree.
climb something. So
No.
the thing that's so crazy about it is there was that moment where, I mean, as you're watching it, and you're just thinking like, there's no way that the guy literally would have fallen if he slipped, but he would have.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't. They said like he would have. He would have killed himself.
I just don't know. Like, I have never in my life, but like little things give me anxiety. I mean, like, you know, too much clutter on a countertop gives me
Oh
anxiety.
gosh, same.
What is
same.
with that?
We are so much alike in that way, and I think a lot of women are wired like that. My mom and I are the same. Where when my dad was for years putting all of his t-shirts from all of his running and everything like in these basement cubbies in the laundry room where he would like keep his like workout stuff. My mom said she would let it go, and I do this with my husband's like jeans that are stacked and his lounge pants. You let it go, meaning when they just shove them in there and don't fold it and stack them. And then I finally snap and then I just have to refold the whole pile.
Yeah. Well, you know, my mom was a Longaberger girl. If you remember Longaberger baskets from back in the day.
yes.
And remember Longaberger was, I mean, and she even went to the building, their headquarters, that was a giant baskets. I mean, it was insane. And those things were expensive. And my mom,
They had Longaberger parties.
Longaberger parties, and like they had to be displayed. You remember they had to be displayed?
My mom had them on the kitchen
Yeah.
ceiling.
Yes. So we had Longaberger baskets everywhere. And my parents' house is meticulously decorated. But it was back in 80s and 90s where the trend was every countertop was decorated.
Yes.
Every
yes.
inch of like the floor, or like there was always something. And I don't know why. Like now, if I go to their house and I'm like this,
Well,
so much stuff.
and here's the good news. You someday, most likely, you and your sister and your brother will be sorting through the Longaberger basket.
I have told my mom, I have told them, because they have so much stuff, because they've been in the house for, 40 years, right? And I said, please let me come home and let me just get a couple dumpsters. Let me just start throwing some stuff out. Like, it's just because if you walk into my house, like I need my kitchen counters complete. I mean,
I know.
all
I'm
the
same
appliances
way.
are hidden.
Yeah,
Like the
I do
toaster
have-
is underneath, and I cannot.
I'm with you on that. And I do think that is a generational difference,
Yes.
because when you talk to people, I've talked to people, I mean, I shared really candidly about this. My mom when my mom moved into a condo after my father passed away, my sister her family moved into their home. And then my sister's family just moved. And so there were a lot of things that my mom had been keeping there, obviously, for the past 4 years since my father died. So when we were going through everything, there were a lot of things that I took. Some things, obviously, we kept in storage, but there were a lot of things that my sister was like, oh, I really don't want her Bunnykins collection,
Right.
which were all the figurines. And I had the Beatrice Potter one. So I have her Bunnykins. And there was a gentleman that told me, you'll find this so interesting, much like Longaberger, those collections are like investments for people.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
there
great.
was a guy who's now a widow, and his wife collected all of the Swarovski crystal pieces, which are beautiful. And my mom has a friend who has a ton of these pieces. He said he thinks they had I think he said $50,000 to $75,000 worth
I
of
believe it.
crystal. And his children said, I don't want it, Dad.
What's his name and number?
So-
What's his name and number? I'll take it.
But you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
then you're
but
like
it's stuff.
burdened with how do you find value in something that is only valuable to those who want to collect it or hold on to it, right?
Yeah,
and the
I-
Hummels were big. My aunt had a
Oh,
huge
yes.
Hummel collection.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of collections, and I'm not a collector. Like, I don't do collections. I mean, I used to have the walls decorated, and it was like, 6 things on a wall, organized, everything. I mean, I went through this thing last year, and I was like, take it all down. And I mean, I was like, fresh paint. Like, I just took everything down. It's I am
That's
very
not
much
a bad thing though, because let's
minimalist.
face it, right? When you have children in your home, especially in your case, 4, there's always going to be clutter just because of all the book bags and the shoes and all the things. And so when you can streamline other elements of your living, I think that makes a lot of sense for your peace of mind.
Yeah. I need peace in mind.
Yeah, I
because
get
I
that.
don't need. Yeah, I don't need. So, and we did have a big announcement last week. Gia did officially.
Okay, I have to find the photo.
Oh, do you have the photo?
Yes, I want
Okay.
you guys to see this because this is so cool. I'm making you guys.
So now
took the
what
stream,
they
but we're
do,
still
as
on.
Tara's looking for this. So
Yeah, I
what
got to
the-
pull
what-
this photo up because it's so cute.
What college kids do now is they will have something called a bed party. It's a bed reveal, where their parents decorate their room, and that's how they make their announcement on Instagram or the TikTok and something. And this is how they announce where they're going. So we went around, and getting balloons filled in the Cedar Valley is quite difficult.
We lost Party City.
We lost Party City. And I remember I
So
went in,
now I have to go online.
I went in
perhaps
some
for the
place
Amazon.
to ask them, and they're like, "When do you need these balloons by?" And I said, "Well, now." I mean, and it took 3 hours.
Okay, I have to do this placement. We have to get it to cover the whole screen. Here we go. I'm sorry. I'm going to pull it up
It's
on here.
okay.
Yeah, no, I want to get this on here because I only got it on the corner and I want to make sure that we get, okay, we'll go back to our corner. Okay, here we go. You guys will love this. So this is Gia.
That
She
is
is
Gia.
She is beautiful.
Well, thank
Amanda's
you.
eldest. She's a senior. And I love, this is so cute because this is like a picture that she'll show her grandchildren.
Right. And it's so her. And so she has selected to the Indiana University. And here's what's hilarious. So 2 years ago, and I think I told you this, she said that she was like, Indiana is my top choice. And I said, okay. And so her big thing was she wanted to go to a very big Division I school because she wanted a good football atmosphere. She wanted to have all these things. And so 2 years ago, I said, okay, great school. But if you're trying to go to a big football school, this may not be it. Clearly, she knew something that I didn't know. Obviously, Indiana won the national championship last week. She is a proud member of the class of 2030. She got direct admittance to their
and she's in the honors program.
and she's in the honors program, and she is as of right now is sports psychology.
That's so exciting. And I
Yeah.
love that she'll be Peoria, where I grew up, is the halfway point between here and Bloomington, Indiana, and where this
We're
university is
stopping to
located.
see Nana
So
Joanne.
my
Yes.
mom was like, "Hey, I'm halfway, there." So what's great is I told Amanda anytime that I'm going to Peoria, which is all the time, if Gia ever needs a ride, she can just hitchhike her way to Peoria.
Well, and also it brought me a lot of comfort knowing that your mom is literally just a few hours away.
Right.
Like that was,
we would she'd be able to get there, if something happened. And it's always so nice when you think about, as my daughter did, the fact that Gia will, for the first time in her life, she will have experience in a different state.
Yes.
She'll be, finding her way, and just really they discover who they are when they go to college.
And that's what I'm excited about. Thank you for showing that picture. We don't have to, but thank you for that. I'm very proud of her. And this is there's 2 things that I think we need to talk about. I think it's fantastic that this was like for Charlotte and for Gia, it was their first adult decision they made by themselves,
Mhm.
right? Like it wasn't us. I mean, when she would come to me, what do you think of this? And I would say, well, what do you think of it? And I'm like,
Mhm.
like slowly I was like, oh, don't go there, but I would,
Because whatever we say, they generally want to do the opposite.
of course. But the other side of it, I really have sympathy, and like my heart is breaking for some of these seniors. The pressure, it's like they don't have to figure out what they want to be like right now, because you're going
That's a
to
good
change.
point. The jobs that exist now, 5 to 10 years from now, some won't exist, and then there will be new ones that we can't conceptualize because of AI.
1,000%. And so for me, it's so much pressure. And I told Gia, I said, the most important thing that you do your freshman year is find out who you are. And my dad hated when I said that. I'm like, I'm gonna go find myself. He's like, you're right here. What do you mean? I found you. You know, like it's such a baby boomer thing to say. He's like, I found you. But I really want her to find who she is, what she believes in, what she like. She's just really, really. I'm very proud of her. I'm excited for her to find
so
her
excited
people.
for her.
Yeah, and I like that she's staying in the
love it.
Midwest. Like she had looked back east, and then her final choices were all like Midwest schools, and I just love that because that's a testament to her life here in Iowa. Like that, it's been warm and it's been cozy, and it's the people.
Well, and I think her going away, there was still that nudge where she was thinking with two really young siblings, she probably wants to still have some connection to be able to get home for some of the things.
Well, I have a picture. I'm going to write a blog about it because it's the saddest thing you'll ever see. It's Aria sitting on the couch, and everyone was just getting like my son and then my other daughter Lucci. They had walked into her room and they're like, "Oh, I love your decorations." And Aria would not go in the room.
Oh. She
was sitting on the couch like this, and she was so sad. I said, "Are you okay?" She says, "No," and I don't want to talk about it.
Oh.
She's having a really, really hard time. So, and then meanwhile, there's Lucci. Can I get Lucia's room? Like, doesn't care. She's like, "See ya." But Aria's having a really
true to Lucci's personality.
She has been a force since she came into this world at 10-7. That is for sure.
Thank you for your engagement with us too, as we call it the group chat. We love to be interactive. So Jeannie said she always said she looked like a beached whale when she was pregnant. Good Lord, I was big. We all felt that way. We can totally relate. And you'll love this. Kirsten said this show is way better than The View. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And one caveat.
We respect each other.
Yes, caveat for us too. Not only do we have a lot of respect for each other, we are very much apolitical. We're independents by, nature from being journalists. So whenever we talk about current issues, we're not trying to push some political agenda on anybody. And so it's fun to have those candid conversations, much like we did when we were doing the news, where we were always striving to be open-minded in our approach.
I think because no one ever knew if we voted right or left. People never.
Correct.
As
should be the case for any person who is charged with educating the populace, right? And so, unfortunately, we know, and it's a rabbit hole to even go down it. The world of TV skewed to where it became infotainment. And so we understand it because it's a business, and that was the only way to really drive viewership.
When I was a young journalist, and this may be touchy for some people, but there were a few stories that they said you should never talk about. There are a few things on as a journalist you should never talk about. And it was politics, it was religion, and it was abortion. Okay. And I say that, and that word like incites everybody. And this is why. You will never change anyone's mind. All those three things, people believe what they believe. Let them,
mm-hmm.
And nothing anybody, because those are devout feelings, like deep in someone's soul and the brain. Like, so it's like you can't do stories on those because you will never change someone's mind. And the point of doing news stories was to educate, but to leave an impact. And there's certain things you can't educate people on because I was told by somebody I respect very much that those three things people already have their mind made up. Does that make sense?
Well, especially when there was a time, right, when we all were engaged in differing viewpoints, and we had sometimes polar opposite opinions, but we still had friendships and work relationships with those people. Yes. Now, because of social media, everyone is supposed to wear a badge, and it's like you have to wear a sign. And then if your sign doesn't agree with my sign, then I'm not supposed to talk to you, and I'm supposed to cancel you, and I'm supposed to defriend you. And so here's what we'll tell you. We welcome everyone, right? We don't defriend people just because they have a completely different viewpoint or opinion than we may or may not agree with. We don't do that, right? Because to me, how would I learn and have growth if I were not exposing myself to people who don't think, talk, act like me, right? That's how you learn. And so it just makes no sense to me that you would completely want your feed
to be like-minded.
Right. I mean, seriously, because also then who would you get annoyed at? If everyone was like you.
And I want people who take a stand on what issues are important
exactly.
to them.
And even if we don't agree with it, we respect them because it's hard to put yourself out there in the arena, right?
And my
very
thing I've
much
seen
so.
a lot, like, you know, in the political climate that we've had in this country really for the past decade. And when people say, like, if you believe in this, or if you don't believe in this, if you don't believe in what I say, then you can just unfollow me now. It's like, okay, that makes us no better than somebody else. Like, it's
Also, if you say unfollow you, how are you ever going to help educate somebody about something they might not have all the information that you divulge, right?
right. It's
just so crazy.
I
I
was
don't know why
laughing-
we became so fractured.
because
Social media.
everybody wants their own personal hype. Everybody wants to be like, I'm right. Like, I was at recently, someone was saying there was like a local school district that, you know, the majority of the school district doesn't like me because of something, you know, I'm the villain, right? And they were telling me, like, oh, this guy said that you got it all wrong, and I'm like, all right, one of these days when I release every single receipt, like my own personal burn book of everything that I know about the
That's such a good
predators
point.
who I've called out, like, just
That's
wait.
such a good point,
because it's coming.
because when she's staking her claim, it's based on a lot of research and exposure to evidence that isn't being publicly divulged for
Right.
various reasons. So, I mean, I'm glad. Thank you for saying that, because it's a good reminder to people that when we watch something and it's a 30-second news story, no, in 30 seconds, they're not going to give you all the nuances and
Right.
really give you enough of a context to make an informed decision. So unfortunately, we are very skewed in our exposure because we're limited on our knowledge. We
Oh.
are limited on our knowledge. Let's remind people of that. You're
We
not an
are.
expert.
And it's so funny because here's the difference. If I was a guy that they had watched on television for a long, long time, if it was like Ron Steele, right? Or if it was anybody in your area who has been the male anchor forever, no one would talk like that. But because it's me,
Mhm.
because it's a woman, and
That's
I
so
know that
true.
for a fact, but I literally want to tell people this. I'm not the one. Like, I am not the one. Like, it's not like, it's like just the other day, it was running into somebody who spoke very negative things about me, said some horrible things, malicious, awful, horrible, right? And I run into this person again. And this person had been like, and I'm like, I hope you say all these things to me in public when you see it. And, oh, you bet I will. And so I saw this person
And
again.
they
I'm
won't.
sitting there and I just was like this. Like, just waiting, like, here I am.
With the Cheshire cat
Oh,
grin.
it's just so-
I love it.
It just makes me,
But
it's so
you
funny.
brought up a really good point. As women, as we age, right? And everybody on here that's dealt with this can relate, especially in the workplace. If a woman says it and there's a lot of doubt, people might be questioning, are you sure we can trust her? You know?
Yeah.
But if you're a man, there is a credibility factor that is often built in where people default and say, oh, well, he said it, so it must be true.
Right.
You know,
right.
like, and we're over here going like, no, it's wrong, or let's look at this, or let's question this. And then we become the anti-boys club villain in the group. And so unfortunately, then the women who are the participating members, then they'll reinforce to the men, you're right. Like, I don't know what she's thinking. She's crazy. She's
Right.
unhinged.
It's literally, it's unhinged. And what I have come down, the thing is this: people who will call me those things, and like, the ones that I am, she's trying to ruin a community, she's trying to do this. You don't like strong women. You like your women weak. That's what it comes down to. And it's women and men who are doing it. You like your women weak. Strong women, everyone says that they want a strong woman until that strong woman flexes against you. And then you're like,
aren't
she's a bee. She's a bee.
Yeah.
I am. I can't be.
Aren't we grateful we found men like Hector and Dave who
Oh.
love strong women? You know,
I mean,
they have been so supportive of us, even when we annoy them.
Well, I remember the man,
Which we do.
the little man who said that
little
I
man.
was, you know who I'm
He's
talking
very
about.
little.
He is little. When
I
he
know
told
exactly who you're
me,
talking
he told me
about.
that I was not delicate like a woman should be, and then he said, thank God I'm not married. I'm not married to someone like her.
Oh
No,
my
trust me. Thank
gosh.
God I'm not married to you. First of all, I mean, I couldn't wear heels ever. And I mean, sorry, that was a very mean dig, but he was very mean and saying that I'm not the way a woman should be.
Oh, I
because-
know.
And I had never even met
and
him.
there are people that always will say, both to our face and behind our back, but they're just like, oh, she's too much. She's too much. And the thing is,
Go find less.
and that's the thing, like, we have to embrace and be authentic about who we are. And so when I meet somebody like her who's has that same level of intensity, then you're like, okay,
We're
game
okay.
recognized game. Like when I first met her, it was like, this is the kind of person I could hang around with, you know,
I
'cause we can't
remember-
help it.
I remember when I first met you, it was the interview, and you were so gracious. And I remember, like, you were eyeing me up a bit because here I come. I mean,
Yeah,
she was still working, but do you remember Tara and I? We had this instant, because again, game recognized game. But I went back to North Carolina, and I was waiting, and you were remember, you were sending me emails. I wonder if I still have those emails. You were sending me the emails of like the updates of the other interview candidates that were coming in.
I can't even remember doing that, but I'm glad that I did.
Oh, you
because-
had me. You had my back.
Good, because that's what is so catty about that whole experience is how you are not just pit with these new people coming in, you're pit against your own friends and coworkers. It's a weird game. That was a lot for us to go through, especially when we were so vulnerable because we didn't see ourselves ever leaving the business,
No.
right?
Mm-mm.
We were still so beholden to, we better make sure that we
Nervous
smile
about
and
everything.
like
Nervous about
we were
everything.
so much on eggshells. So, oh my gosh, it's such a great feeling. And for those of you that can relate to this, when you're in a job or you're in an industry where you can't imagine not being part of it because it's partly your identity. And then when you finally break free, you're like, why didn't I leave 10 years ago?
Yeah,
You know?
because here in this country, in our society here, it is very much we are living to work, and that is our identity.
yeah.
Like I had a really, really hard time with that. I was no longer the news lady, and I hope you understand that. I will never forget, and I've shared this with you. I went to, I don't just say it, it was a United Away event, and it was
right after you left,
Right
like
after.
the week after,
the
right?
week after I
Mhm.
left. Okay. I had always gone to those events, and when I had gone before, everyone greeted me. They were so warm, and they weren't. Now I know they weren't just being nice. They weren't being kind of nice, like just table to table. Hey man, like it was just a whole thing. That
it was
first,
the position, not the person.
it was the position, not the person. I went in there, and now at this point, now I am the head of a nonprofit. I am no longer the news lady.
wah, wah.
You could have lit me on fire in the center of the room, and not one. There were two people who came to talk to me, Tara and Jacqueline, my former colleague at
I
the
knew
television
exactly
station.
what you were going through.
It was
and I
awful.
told her I was very impressed because she had her lash extensions on. She had her fake lashes on. And I said, I know how hard this is to get up early and come and be all the things when you now are not wearing the crown. I know what that feels like. And so, yes, I had a specific empathy for you that no one else could really relate to.
You did.
you
And
know?
it was, I mean, I was actually disgusted. I took stock that day. I mean, I switched a lot of things in my life because I saw people for who they were. And I mean, you're surrounded by phony.
Yes. And isn't it wonderful that you say that? Because the sooner you do that, the more you maximize the limited time and resources that you have to connect with others, because you only have so much time when you're raising kids and you're working. So you now have those times, you have that hour or that time back to be spent intentionally with someone who you really have a sincere relationship with, not wasting yourself time with meetings and this frivolous stuff where people were only trying to get close so they could access the power grab.
1,000%. It was definitely a power grab.
It's a different
and you and I
kind of
recognize this.
engagement.
And we talk about this in our Faith in 4-letter words shows every single week. People don't like when you stop people pleasing, and what they want when they're the wrong people, they just want the version of you that they benefit from.
Mhm.
So hundreds of people have benefited from myself and Tara for years because we were the news lady. We were on TV. They felt that gave them access to
And it did, because we did have influence over stories and interviews, and we did genuinely promote people because we believed in what they were doing, not because they were inviting us to a barbecue. But okay, I have to share this, and this has been on my heart to talk about for like 2 weeks, because I shared with you and my friend Barb this clip on TikTok, and it completely personified, it nailed everything that I always say. And this is a good test. Do this the next time that you're in a social situation. We have become such a me culture that when you go out to dinner with another couple, or you're over at somebody's house having a get together with people, I would be willing to bet, and I don't gamble, but I would bet on this 9 out of 10. I'm going to say 9 out of 10. I don't have scientific evidence for this. It's a high percentage. Will never ask you questions about you. They may respond with questions about you, but most people nowadays only talk about themselves.
Absolutely.
Only talk about themselves. And my friend Barb and I, we talk about this all the time. I have had many times where I've gone to dinner with people randomly over the years, or been in social engagements, or even had lunch one-on-one with people. And I will walk away sometimes thinking, okay, I know this is a good person. They're a nice person. I like this person. They never asked a single question about me.
No,
they
don't
didn't
care.
say, how is your job? How are your kids? How is your mom? Nada. And so I start to kind of say in, reflection, what do they even care about me as a person or my life? Or am I just there to make them feel better and prop them up about all the things going on in their lives? And so at some point you do have to acknowledge, good, bad, or ugly, is this something that I should walk away from? Because I genuinely want to have conversations and dinners and lunches and social engagements with people like her or my other friends who are going to say, hey, how is your mom doing now that she's a widow? Or what is going on with Charlotte now that she's, in her second year of college? And again, we're not trying to be, I guess, formulaic in the way that we engage with people, meaning like, oh, I asked you a question, now you ask me a question. I mean, no. But just the sincere, I value what you are going through, and I care enough about you that it matters to me how you got through that or what you're dealing with in your day-to-day life.
Do you think it's because being on television and in the glass fishbowl for so long that now we're just very protective of our space as well? So we don't want anybody in our space who's only here to say they know Tara Thomas or they know Amanda Goodman, when it's, if you can't pronounce my real last name, then you probably don't know me. And I don't mean that in any form of disrespect, but it's just I think you're also very good with your boundaries now. And I think that especially in the past couple of years, you started to see people for who they really, really are.
Well, and we both have experienced this, and it's sad. And you guys, many of you, especially being in Iowa, can relate. So much of the social life that we lead as parents is driven by our kids.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And so I have a weird dichotomy here, or dynamic, where my daughter was with a lot of people over the years that I really wasn't close to, a lot of the moms, except I guess for one who's right now her roommate in Tucson. But then as a contrast, my son's boyfriends, all of those moms I've always been close with. And so it doesn't always happen. You're fortunate if you find that group, but I've had both experiences. And so sometimes when those kids graduate or they move on to another friend group, all of a sudden there's some people who they don't even want anything to do with you anymore. And then you're thinking, so you were only nice to me because our kids went, you hung out together. Isn't that weird?
It is weird. I mean,
why are you friends with me then?
One of my best friends, her daughter, both her kids are out of school, and
you're still friends with them.
Oh my gosh, I talk to her every single day, multiple times a day.
Because the friendship wasn't based on social constructs of trying to organize or trying to manipulate
socially
relationships.
engineer friendships for our kids. It wasn't like, oh, I'm only friends with her so I can sit with somebody at this game, and this game, or I'm only friends with her because so our kids can make sure we set up play dates with each other. It was never like that. It was, she and I became adult friends, and we could relate about teenage stuff, and we've developed our own friendship, and I'm grateful for that. It's
a gift when you find people like that.
I think it's really, really hard. And here's the thing: you want to trust your friends and the people. I always tell people, I am far more street smart than I am book smart. And I had just moved to Iowa. Tara and I had not established a friendship yet. We barely knew each other. And I remember telling you, there was just this ick feeling I had on a certain situation. And I looked at Tara and I said, I know I don't know you very well, but watch yourself around this, and this person. I'm like, there's something there that I don't like. And it turned out to be, you know what I mean? It turned out to be true. Not that I'm like, oh, look, it turned out to be true, but it's put people in your midst who are literally going to have your back, like literally going to have your back. And I know, like, if I'm not in a room and someone says something about me, she won't address it like I will, like, you know, throwing F-bombs, but she's going to address it and she's going to have my back. Like, you got to have those people in your life.
And also, as we talk about in the show, when you evolve and age and you grow, you know, come into that next phase of your life, so many people fall away, and then you don't have to mourn or regret or have bad feelings. You just move on, and it's okay, because those people are not, you know, we don't wish anybody ill will by any means, but those people have just come to a place in their life where the path, you know, is not going to continue together.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So some of those people that she's talking about that I was friends with, they were even at my surprise 40th birthday party that my husband threw for me. Now I'm still cordial, but I would say we're just like Facebook friends. I mean, that's how much a relationship can and will change. And that's okay. I mean, we are fine with that, because you guys know, if you're that busy, and we are as moms, and then of course with all the things with work and the kids, how would you have time to even maintain sincere relationships with that many people? I mean, it's like impossible that you would even engage with those people outside of giving them a thumbs up on Facebook.
Yeah, if you were looking for the Amanda and Tara who were like all dolled up nonstop and like sitting like the posture like this on television, and the ones that would like hi at an event, hi. Those aren't that's not us, right? Like, we are long gone. We have grown, and I can't even believe it. But
also we don't care anymore, and we used to care. We had to care what people thought, because we were conditioned in that business. So
our only job was
truly had to worry about, well, what do they think of me? What have they?
Could you?
What have they said? Did they call my boss? Are they going to tell the management?
If I wrote something, if I lit a match about, like, in order to stand up for the underdog, like, you know, if I did that, I never would have been able to do it in the news world when I worked in news, because it was like, people don't like you. People don't like you. Like, look at this. How do you feel? People don't like you. Like, now I'm like, okay, like,
yeah, now that's such a good point. Now, when someone says that, which they probably don't always tell us the truth, you know, to our face, which is fine. But when they say that, what we both feel then is, okay, well, then that validates what we already thought. They never, if they acted otherwise, now we just confirmed what we thought. It was fake. And that's okay.
It is fake. And that's the thing.
And that's okay.
And stop. And like, we're about to get to the 4-letter word and some faith of the day. But here's the thing. Stop conditioning women. It's like, they always ask women, like, well, what, they don't like you. They don't like you. Stop teaching young girls that the only purpose on their life is to be liked throughout life.
Yeah, that's so true.
And so that will lead me to my 4-letter word of the day. And that is true. Stay true to who you are. Be so rooted in who you are. Do no harm. You know what I mean? By being you, but protect yourself, so you take no stuff from people. So
thank you for sharing that. I want to say hi to my Aunt Bonnie. Thank you for the congrats. Yes, our family is thrilled about the Seahawks win. My daughter was flying back to Arizona crying on the plane, she said, because now, of course, that generation has Wi-Fi on the plane. So she was watching the game on the plane. Jenny Bird now says, I always say, you may think I'm a lot, but I know I'm a lot to lose.
Ooh.
Isn't that a good line? Thank you,
Okay,
Jenny, for sharing that. Okay, my verse of the day. Wow, what a sermon yesterday at Hope City that Pastor Q did. And it was called Vision Sunday. And he said, whatever you're doing in your life, you have to find that purpose, because God does have a plan for you. And once you have the vision for how your life should be, you can start carefully and methodically executing it. And you don't have to rush, because God is going to reveal it, and it will happen in due time. And so I needed that reminder. So the verse of the day comes from Romans, and oh gosh, this is a good one. This is very heavy. And Romans 8, verse 28, 29. And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. So it's cliche and frustrating when you're going through a rough season when people say all things work together for the good.
Yeah.
But what we know and what we rest in is all the trials, tribulations that have happened to us, that we've walked through. there has been a peaceful landing place for us. And sometimes it's more immediate than others, but what a great gift when you can put your hope and faith in something far beyond a job, a house, all the material things that we cannot take with us. And when you're packing up your Hummels and your Bunnykins, you will be reminded that you can't take those collectibles to heaven.
God doesn't want clutter. He doesn't like clutter. Well, thank you for joining us on this Monday, January 26th. We hope you stay warm and just go light your soul on fire. Do what lights your soul on fire this week.
Have the best week. We love that you love to spend time with us, and we will see you Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. and we'll be in Prairie du Chien in person this Wednesday. So thanks to everybody for letting us reschedule. Have a great day.